My name's Jim Simonis. I grew up in Northern California, outside of the town of Redding, and worked construction my whole life, and went through high school, went to Chico State, decided I was going to be an engineer, and took this job about a year out of college, and now here I am.
And how old are you?
25.
Young for a project this big.
Yeah, it's quite an experience.
What does your job entail?
I'm one of the engineers here on the OBG. My job is specifically looking over the weld repairs, the heat straightening requests, all of the dimensional control surveys, and any problems that we come across, we figure out how to fix them.
And you work for?
I work for Alta Vista Solutions.
And that's contracted to?
We're contracted to the Office of Structural Materials.
Growing up in Redding, did you ever think you'd end up in China?
No, if you would have told me 3 or 4 years ago that I'd be in China, I would have laughed and walked off.
3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah. If, I'd really had some reservations when I took the job moving to, down to the Bay Area, living in the country my whole life. But then, just the prestige of this project, when they told me that I'd be working on that, I went down for the interview and ended up getting the job and worked at Pier 7 for a few months. And then they told me I was going to come to China, and here I am.
I'd love to hear that telephone call to your mom and dad. What did you say?
Oh, they'd hinted at it a couple of times, and so I'd talked to my parents a little bit about it, and then I got a phone call on a Sunday from my boss saying you're leaving in 2 weeks. So I actually just drove home and told everybody.
Did you even have a passport?
I had a passport, yeah.
Were you concerned about moving to a strange country?
Everybody has their reservations, on short notice and everything else. It's you really didn't know what to expect. And, you talked to a few people that were working over here, and, you didn't have enough time to really be worried. You just had to get all the stuff that you thought you needed and head out.
What did you pack that you needed, and what did you not pack?
I mostly packed clothes and medicine, stuff like that.
And what did you leave behind that you wish you'd brought?
I don't know if we got enough time for that. But.
Oh, sure we do. Tell me if you had a list of things that you should have brought.
Oh, wow. I don't even know where to begin. Q-tips are a huge one. Dental floss, those are hard to find. Warmer clothes, you got to really prepare for all the seasons. You kind of get both extremes here.
Personal items, books or iPods, stuff like that?
I brought quite a few books over here. I talked to a couple of people about what you couldn't get, and that was one of the main recommendations, was if you have any electronics or books or anything that you can't live without, make sure and bring them, because it's actually quite difficult to get, American media here.
And when did you arrive?
I got here June 22nd of 2009.
And tell me your impressions when you got off the plane.
It was, I don't know, it was, the plane, we landed in the middle of the day so I could see everything, and it was, coming in from Pudong on the maglev was pretty neat. You see all the farmlands, the swamps and all of that, and it's, trying to take all of that in, and then you go into Shanghai, and I stayed at the MEA my first night, right across from, you'd see the World Financial Center and all of that, and that was quite an experience. I was thinking that this was, I'd really hit a home run, staying in this big fancy hotel, and then I came out to the island, and they put me in the Jihui Hotel for about 2 weeks, and that was, quite the other extreme.
Yeah, well, to describe what it was like.
I was in a windowless room on the 3rd floor, which is right above the karaoke floor. So it goes, there's a party all night down there, so you can't sleep, and there's no windows, so it's a little, you really don't know what time it is when you wake up. Oh, here.
And what is this? You walk in the door.
You walk in the door, you got your nice glass shower, bedside table, your bed. Everything you need, nothing you don't, really. Apparently you don't need windows, but you got a desk, a big TV.
And a door to get out.
And
karaoke bar downstairs.
Karaoke bar directly below you. Always a good time.
How loud was the music at night?
It was loud. These are cobras in this bag.
And what do they do with these snakes?
They put them in that jug and they drowned them in a Chinese liquor called baijiu. and then drink the baijiu afterwards.
For
An aphrodisiac.
what strikes you the most about China today?
I think it's just the chaos of the place. You know, everything's lit up, everything's noisy. There's really, no traffic control. It's, it's very chaotic.
And describe the traffic, because I've had my own impressions of it.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just chaos. You pull up to the toll for the tunnel, and you got cars weaving in and out of each other, trying to cut each other off. In America, that'd be a huge problem.
And plus people walking out in front of your car all the time.
Yeah.
And yet, I've yet to see an accident.
Oh, we've seen a lot of accidents.
What was your impression, the first impression of Chinese food, real Chinese food?
It wasn't bad. I got the street food, the sticks and whatnot. So, you can pretty much pick and choose what you want between vegetables and meat, and it was all right. But, on the island, when we first got here, you had to take a ferry back and forth. There was no tunnel, so you had to get what you wanted in Shanghai, like breads, cheeses, milk. Those things were really hard to get here when I first arrived.
So you'd get tell me, you'd buy the stuff and put it in a basket or a bag, or?
Yeah, you just take 3 or 4 grocery bags home with you every weekend.
And was it difficult shopping in the grocery store?
No, not really. Once you figure out where to go, and everybody had been here for a while, so I came in 6 months after everybody else, so they could kind of steer me in the right directions.
And what groceries did you buy when you were first here, and did you know what you were buying, or sometimes you just go from the picture?
Most of the times you could figure it out. There's enough, foreigner sections in the major supermarkets in Shanghai. On the island, sometimes you're just taking your pick.
And where do they move you to after you left the hotel room with no window?
We got apartments here on the island.
Apartments here on the
Yeah.
island. So you lived like in one of these white buildings across the way over here?
No, it's back towards the tunnel a little ways.
And you lived there how long?
I think 10 months.
What was that like?
It was all right. It had, basic accommodations. It had a couch, a TV, everything else. It's just a little bit smaller than everything in the U.S.
And you're a big guy.
I guess.
Well, how do you adjust to that? Just the confined spaces, was that a big thing to deal with or not?
No, it wasn't that bad. Just the sinks are a little smaller, the counters are a little shorter. But yeah, it was, a little bit of adjustment, a little more bending over.
How tall are you?
6'5".
6'5". And how many pounds did you weigh? Have you lost weight or gained since you got here?
I've stayed about the same.
About the same, okay. And after you were there for how long? A couple of months?
About 10 months.
10 months. And you're now living in Pudong?
Yeah.
And describe your accommodations there.
They're not much different than the apartment on the island. It's a little nicer. I have a little yard. I live in a first floor apartment, which is kind of nice, but it's just the convenience of being able to get the groceries and stuff you want that makes it a little nicer.
And do you live by yourself?
Yeah.
Do you date here in China?
Yeah. You meet people from everywhere. I was seeing a girl from Texas for a while, but...
A girl from Texas in China?
Yeah.
How did you meet her?
Oh, just running around Shanghai.
Talk about the job now. So, kind of quality control, checking the weldings?
Yeah. Our job is actually to check the quality control process. We make sure that quality control is doing their job.
And how do you go about doing that? What's the process?
Most of the work's done on the shop floor. You've seen all the inspectors running around here. They go around and monitor what all the welders and what all the QC's doing, make sure that everybody's doing their respective job, making sure that we're getting the quality that we want.
And you said you spend a lot of time here in this office.
Yeah.
What happens in here?
In here, we process a lot of paperwork, review a lot of reports, send a lot of emails.
Tedious or exciting?
It can get mundane, but there's always something new coming up, so keeps you jumping around a lot.
And so do you actually go out on site too, or you?
Yeah, we go on site every day.
So when you go back, probably in July, right?
Yeah.
What do you think you'll be doing after that?
We'll have to talk to the bosses and see what they got planned.
Do you think you'll still be working on the Bay Bridge?
I don't know yet.
And what's your impression of the Bay Bridge project?
It's been quite a unique experience for me, especially being, this young right out of college, coming to a project of this magnitude and getting to see it through. It's been really good.